Okay.
Hi, Sabina. I'm so glad I got a hold of you today. I first want to introduce Sabina a little bit, just if I could have a minute. I could talk about Sabina forever. I've known Sabina now. We've been working together for the last couple of years. So
Yes.
we have a shared passion. We have a passion that's in common. I've never met Sabina like in real life, like only virtually. I look forward to when we do meet because I think we have this very common passion. So let's make sure we talk about that today, that thing that we have and really in common. But beyond that too, like she's just been someone that's seemingly like being like a mirror for me, like a partner for me to talk and mastermind with about healing, like the journey of health, like the journey of awakening, or the journey of finding yourself, or the journey of loving yourself. Like this is like there's where's the instruction book for this? Like there isn't one, so we have to sort of have another that we can talk about things with sometimes, because sometimes it's confusing too to know the self better, and it's always wonderful to have someone to share that with. And so I have so many things that I could say about Sabina. She's a holistic nutritionist, and I've found my way in the direction of holistic nutrition, and really it's about the nutrition of wholeness. And Sabina, I think, really represents that, and I that's why I'm really glad that I've got her here today to just share a little bit about her. She just said she just finished a water fast, Sabina.
Yeah, so I devoted my journey really to holistic health and living the best life ever. And that is not just in the body, like in all areas. As you so beautifully mentioned, the journey of self-love, which can take, it can take years to get to the point of loving yourself, because we all grew up in environments where we were not taught really what is self-love. And so we all have gone through trauma, childhood trauma. We have all gone through abuse. We have all developed self-destructive behavior. We have all developed limiting beliefs and just many programs we took on along the way. And there's so much misinformation out there about what natural healing is, what is the best diet for our species, there's no information out there that the body can heal itself. So we've been taught, we get sick, we got to go to a doctor, we take a pill, we got to get an injection to protect ourselves from something flying around. So there's all this misinformation. So most people have actually no idea what it is to live fully, in a natural way and be whole, perfect, and complete, and live the best life ever. So, I started really young, because I was always sick. Not only sick, I was, I grew up in a very authoritarian family. I was told what to do and what not to do. I was never asked, how do you feel? What would you like to do with your life? What are your dreams? That was just never on the agenda. So naturally, I became rebellious and I started questioning, because I always knew there's something more out there. There's a better way of living. There's just more happiness, more health. But I had no idea, where to even start. And at age 19, I found this book on the raw food lifestyle. And somehow it called me and I said, okay, let's just explore it. So I went from a conventional German diet on lots of bread and butter and meat and sausages and sugary drinks to eating fruits and vegetables only in its raw form. And within a few months, I felt some massive transformation. Like everything improved. My whole life, I had, chronic bronchitis, chronic congestion in my nose. I always had to walk around with a tissue box wherever I go. I could never breathe through my mouth, through my nose. I always was breathing through my mouth, and my mouth was always dry. So when I went on the raw living diet, suddenly my nose opened up and I was able to breathe really deeply for the first time in my life. And I never really had bronchitis again. It just went away. I never had earaches again. And all the stuff I was having in childhood, it just went away. So that gave me, the power. I can actually heal myself just from changing my diet. My life would just so improve. And that was basically the starting point of realizing I got the power and there's a way to heal. There's a way to be happy. So from that moment on, I just kept going deeper and eventually got me to yoga, to meditation, breath work, all kinds of spiritual healing, sound healing, like everything in the area of natural healing and personal development I explored.
Yes, this is it. It's really like it's all about frequency. It's all about vibration, and there's so many things to explore in that realm of energy healing. Like it's emotional healing, it's feelings, it's emotional healing, it's coming, it's getting over our feelings. You talked about trauma, it's overcoming trauma.
Yes.
It's overcoming childhood development, like what happened in our family homes. And this is linked all to the way our body moves and the way our body feels and the pain we have in our body, the sickness we have in our body, the virus we have in our body, the bacteria that we have in our body, the habits that we have, the foods that we eat, the way that we eat because of emotional things that are in the body. This is physical, this is mental, this is emotional. And you talked about the spiritual, like that's it. It's spiritual and emotional, the feminine, and it's physical and mental, the masculine. It's the two sides of ourself, and it's really marrying the two sides of ourself and working on the two sides of ourself. And we often have a weak side, and we have to sort of shine a light on that weak side. We have to clean it out, and that's why cleansing gets involved in when we're talking about our passion. Like, what are you most passionate about, Sabina?
What I'm passionate about? Well, I really love beauty in all its forms. So I love nature, and I go every day outside. I explore nature. I go on walks. I go on barefoot walks. I love jumping in the ocean. I love being in the water. I love the sunshine. Any moment the sun is out, I drop everything. I go outside, I do sun gazing or just feeling the sun on my face. I find it very healing. I love fruits, especially all the exotic fruits such as durian and all the juicy fruits, grapes and oranges, like any food from Mother Nature I actually enjoy. And I love moving my body, of course. Like every day I go running, I jump on a trampoline, I am passionate about yoga and all the artistic forms. I actually grew up kind of in the arts. I was always writing as a child. I wrote my first book at age 10, and I always loved playing with words and languages. And I love creativity. Actually, when I was 10, I opened up a little circus in our main town, and I put 3 chairs on top of each other, and I climbed up there and I stood on the head. So I was always very acrobatic. I love just moving my body and playing with my body. And yeah, all kinds of artistic expression I enjoy.
This is play. Like you're into human play. You like living your life in play. And I think that this is what happens on retreat. And I think that this is what's our common passion, is we have this passion for retreat. It's like a place where the soul can be free, where healing can happen, It's my favorite place to be a facilitator. I think you love to be a facilitator on retreat as well too. It's what you're most passionate about. It's what we love to do and the way we try to live our life that way. And we want to see if we can try to bring retreat and relationship and personal development and health and movement and breath and cleansing, cellular cleansing and detoxification and emotional healing. And you bring it all together. This is a retreat. Can we do this, with people virtually? Can we do this with people daily? Can we do this with people, give them accountability so that it's like they can kind of have a lifestyle that's kind of always connected, one foot rooted in retreat living, which is self-loving time, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you mentioned lifestyle. Yeah, this is not just about the cleansing, has so many different layers to it in our areas. It's really about creating a lifestyle. And another passion I have is actually inspiring others to what's possible and to live the best life ever in all areas. And that means feeling physically fit and vibrant and radiant and flexible in the body, and waking up in the morning being excited and passionate about life and having creative ideas. That's the lifestyle I'm passionate about, and exploring beauty and magic every day. And wherever you go, you can become a creator and you manifest things. You just go out there and play, as you said. So I see a lot of people being very low energy, very depressed, and just no hope and just no outlook on life. So one of my passions is to motivate people and inspire them to see more in them. And that takes, first of all, releasing what is blocking them from having a better life. So, as you mentioned, retreat. And yes, part of a retreat is putting all these pieces together, and how can you release what is blocking you from living the fullest life ever? It starts there. We got to let go first of, all the toxicity in the body, the waste we all have accumulated, letting go of the limiting beliefs and the stories we made up about ourselves that is not the truth, that are keeping us stuck in a very small life. We have to let go of all the emotional trauma we carry and all the unresolved issues and all the resentment we have towards others. It's actually blocking you. When you hold resentment towards other people, there's a block in your energy field, in your aura. So we want to let go of all that stuff and all the mental constructs. And that's why it feels like most people carry so much luggage with themselves. And it's about letting go of the luggage so your life becomes lighter. When your life is lighter, you're more tuned in and more connected to source, and you can listen to the messages that come from within, because we all have intuition, we all have divine guidance, but most people are so far completely disconnected from that. They're looking from outside, something outside to fulfill them, whether it's food for self-soothing, whether it's a drink or smoking a joint or going shopping, whatever it is. They're looking for something outside to fulfill them for happiness and to give them energy, when in fact, energy can be cultivated from within. And so it's joy and happiness and inspiration. It's all an inside job. So lifestyle is about, creating a lifestyle that is about radiance and living authentically from your core and from your true essence. So that's what I'm passionate about, creating radiant, authentic living and supporting others on this journey.
I heard in there, like, possibility. Like Sabina likes to live in possibility. That's one thing that I really like about Sabina, creativity, possibility, artistic, that, being in possibility. And the other thing that I heard there was, finding that inside of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So coming into possibility and sort of the liberation that you get from recognizing that's inside of yourself. So there's a freedom there, Like you're talking about freedom, you're talking about peace, you're talking about health, you're talking about prosperity, you're talking about abundance. I mean, this is uh your health is your wealth. This is rise your vibe. This is the high vibe living, high vibe living.
Mhm.
But, it's a lot of things. So, we're working on something together, a 30-day sort of health and wellness event together right now, where we want to try to share the natural aspects of health, like the things that actually make us healthy. Like that's the thing. So much misinformation has got people looking for that answer in a pill or a potion or a substance or another person, and really not recognizing that we can generate that inside of ourselves. And sometimes we just need a little bit of a coach to kind of maybe give you a little bit of belief at the beginning. I think people just have lost belief.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just the fact I think people are looking for a quick fix or like some pill you can take that relieves them. But there is no such quick fix, and there's no magic potion you can drink that gets you to that place. It takes some time. And it actually takes 30 to 60 days to really change the brain, the neural pathways in your brain. So 30 days is actually a good starting point where you can actually change your mindset and create new beliefs and create new habits. When you do something for 30 days consistently, that creates already a new foundation and a starting point for your next level. So I always recommend, people to commit to something for a certain period and really commit to that, because the key to any success is consistency. As you agree with me, John, nothing happens, you don't develop the body you want if you don't do it consistently. You can't just do this once a week or once
Devotion.
in a
There
while.
has to be
Yeah,
devotion. There has to
yeah,
be a
that's
commitment. There has to be a daily commitment. So that's a big part of the program is commitment. I've got exercise daily, 7 days a week going on that I'll be, giving. And Sabina, what will you be adding to make this a 30-day plan of nutrition and exercise? And, together we're working on mindset and accountability together.
yeah. So one of the main foundational pieces is actually nutrition. Because if your body is toxic and you have a lot of waste accumulation, it will be very challenging to change your mindset, because you just don't feel good. You feel stagnant and stuck, and just you don't have the energy, because it takes some energy out to really commit to something and make some changes in your mental and emotional state. So the big foundation is nutrition, diet, and regular cleansing. So I work with people, to develop a new, let's say, lifestyle for nutrition. And this is the combination of raw living foods in combination with regular cleansing. So this is really a main piece. And then the other thing is letting go of this emotional stuff we share. And that's where that we carry. And that's where shadow work comes in. Because when you cleanse and actually eat healthier, like a lot of emotional stuff will come to the surface, because we store emotional trauma in the body. So it only makes sense to release it from the body. And the way to release is to cleansing our system. And then this stuff comes up, and then, you want to have tools. What you're going to do with it? If anger or sadness or grief comes up, you don't want to just wallow in it. So you want specific tools, how to move through that and actually transmute it. So the power lies in transmutation. You can call it spiritual alchemy. So I share also shadow work with people, where I work with them on their trigger. What triggers you? What emotional stuff is actually ruling your life? And we're often very unconscious of the emotions that rule our life. We make choices and actions come from our emotions, and they actually don't make sense, and they're not empowered. So it's about learning to master your emotions. Instead of them ruling your life, you actually can see them for what they are, and you have a way to move through them and actually channel them in a different direction. So you can actually use these emotions to put it in a positive way. So a big part is, the shadow work. And then I also bring in soul purpose, which means living in alignment with your soul, because we all came here for a specific reason. We didn't come here to struggle and to survive or to get a job so one day we can retire, work really hard. We all came here for our soul's calling. We all have a unique calling. So part of what I also bring is, supporting people and finding that passion, that thing that drives you, that gets you excited, gets you out of bed in the morning, and you become inspired to doing it, and something that is of service to others, because we're actually here to be of service. We're not here just to, fulfill ourselves. We all have a bigger mission. So all these pieces, when they all come together in combination with movement and yoga and breath work, you become more authentic, you become more yourself. You're actually going back to your natural state, which is the return to wholeness. You just are more you in your original form. And then the whole outlook on life changes, because the outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. So when you work on your inner world and get back to source, you suddenly have a completely different perspective of life. And then things open up, they were not there before. So that's where the shifts really happen. So we want to address this on all areas,
Opportunity, stepping into opportunity within creates opportunity without, like it happens outside of ourselves eventually, not immediately. So I like that, getting away from the quick fix. And really working on the lifestyle and working on it from the inside. You talked about the shadow work, like this is it. We're talking about cleansing the body. When we start getting into the raw foods, the body starts to eliminate. It's about elimination.
Yes.
It's about eliminating the waste. It's from coming away from our cooked and processed living that we've grown to live on meats and dairies and cheeses and cooked and processed foods and cooked and processed sugars. It's not all sugars. It's cooked and processed sugars. We need healthy living sugars. And when we start to get into hydrating living sugars, because they contain potassium and sodium and carbon, and when we start to hydrate ourselves this way, not worrying about living sugars and fructose and this low glycemic healthy sugar, when we start having low glycemic healthy sugar, and we combine fasting, which is nature's way of healing, and we combine exercise or movement or yoga or breath work, which is nature's healing work, and we allow the body to do what the body does naturally. It heals itself. And so we're just allowing the body to do what it does by taking the mind out of the way. You talked about the breath work. Meditation is a role of an aspect of it. You talked about releasing the emotions. It happens in a meditation, in breathing and being able to breathe through the emotions, to breathe through parts of our life. It can be done with movement and breath work and meditation and fasting and living foods. It's a lifestyle, isn't it, Sabina?
Absolutely. Yes. It takes addressing all these different pieces, and doing them in a consistent way. And most people just don't have the discipline. I see this over and over again. They start something, they see a little result, and then they go back to the old ways, because it takes discipline, it takes willpower, it takes commitment and devotion. It's like making this a devotion. But if you do commit yourself and you do it long enough, consistently, like for example, 30 days, you will see some results in 30 days. And then you have the tools available. You can continue for another 30 days, and
you'll feel it. This is the thing. I think knowledge is like feeling it. Like when you feel it, then you know it. So it's experiential. Like you kind of have to go through the experience of what is it really like to live on fruit sugar or live on raw foods? Like what actually happens, and then you actually do it. And what is it really like to exercise on a daily basis? Or what is it really like to wake up and be grateful really every single day? Like what is it really like to do that? Like what happens if I do it? So having someone holding you accountable to it and talking about it, and then talking about what happened when you did it, fasting, exercise, movement, breath work, when you put it all together, oh, that's a lot of balls you're juggling. You need a little bit of support along the way to kind of get that started. Isn't this the way?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking for support. I asked for support many times in my life. When I was in deep pain, I realized I can't get out of this myself. I asked for help, and I actually worked with 2 people on a regular basis just to get me out of there. And then once I was stable enough to do it on my own, then I continued, but I had to ask for help. Same with, I hired a business coach at some point because I couldn't do it. So over the years, I have invested in coaches and mentors, in courses, in webinars. And every time I did, I realized it was an investment in myself, and I felt the expansion and the growth. And I was no longer the same person as before. So sometimes we need help, and there's nothing wrong to ask for help, because you can do this maybe on your own, but it will take a long time, or you fall back. But when you have the support and accountability, that is what creates accelerated healing, accelerated growth. And that's where the power lies in.
Relationship, right? I mean, I really appreciate our relationship. That's been a big part of it, is that I've been able to like grow from associating with you, having a relationship with you, sharing love with you. Like I say, love is really, having a common goal, together, and breathing with a common goal together. Like I've got a goal to be healthy. Sabina has a goal to be healthy. And we, create a healthy space where people can also bring their goal to be healthy there. And as one or more come together, there's like a power there. Like there's something that happens when people come together in relationship, when 2 or more come together, there is a power that is between the two that is greater than the individual parts. Like this is something that happens in a retreat, or when you sort of you go away somewhere and you make that perfect space. Like, can we do that virtually for people for 30 days and give them that coaching experience that gives them that little shove off, that gives them that little start with their new life that they want to have. They want to get healthy, they want to lose weight, they want to tone up, they want to get into a healthy routine with their nutrition, they want to change their nutrition, they want to break their bad habits, they want to overcome their cravings, and they want to heal their trauma and get over their pain and get over their sickness and illness, get their energy back, get their body back.
Absolutely. You made a good point, because everything is amplified and magnified in a relationship. And there's only so much work we can do on ourselves by ourselves. But really, through relationship, we are actually being reflected by others. We're being seen and heard and helped by others. And that actually accelerates the healing process, and the growth expands. So there's nothing more powerful than being a container. And it's really a love container. John, you said it's so beautiful.
Yes,
At the end, it's about falling in love with others.
Yes, self and others.
Yeah,
Falling in love with
with
self
yourself and
falling in love.
others. I mean, I've been to many retreats, and sometimes at the beginning, I didn't like anyone. At the end, I was in love with every single person. And that's what happens, because you take off those shields we have in front of our heart, and you open yourself by authentic sharing and by committing to something that might feel uncomfortable at times.
Loving.
And doing this in a group setting, and suddenly you start to open like a flower, you start blossoming and opening. When
Being
you can
unconditionally loving.
yeah, and then you love every single person, and when that
Oh my
love,
gosh, that's possible.
yes, that's possible. When you're in a
Come
room
on.
with people who just love, amazing energy, and so much can happen that cannot happen by yourself doing this alone at home,
The wonderfulness of retreat, yes. When you get a bunch of people that are trying to work on something together, you know, or you know, so and sometimes people just don't like to be in front of others, but you know, just maybe in a coaching environment where you can just be one-on-one with a coach and have a conversation. Someone is there for you to sort of support you, you know, whether you're if you're not comfortable with the group, then you at least you've got some support on a personal level as well too, you know. But we have to get beyond what the other person's doing.
Mhm.
Like we really need to focus on ourselves.
Mhm.
The other person is a mirror.
Mhm.
The others are mirrors for us. They are there to support us. Everyone's trying to be their best. That's what happens on retreat. That's what we love about retreat. Everyone's trying to be their best, physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally. It's a wonderful space to be in. It's a passion of ours. That's why we like to do that together.
Yeah, and it's about letting go of comparison because we are all on our individual journey. There's no comparing. It doesn't actually make sense to compare yourself with another. It's about honoring the journey that you are and honoring every step of that journey. And especially, you know, the big part of the coaching and being in a container is also when you fall, you have someone that support you with tools so you can get up again by yourself. Not someone to lift you up, but we're here to provide you with tools so you can do it for yourself. And that's where really the power comes in. Learning, creating a toolbox with all different, you know, modalities. So when you have a breakdown or facing a challenge, you have different approaches that you can do and see how you can get out of there. It's really a way of, you know, a toolbox of empowerment. There's many different ways of moving through challenges, many different ways of when a breakdown happens to rise above. So John and I will provide you with a toolbox of many different tools. And you, after 30
30
days,
days of holistic health with
yes,
Sabina and John, Coach John.
yes,
Yes.
yes, absolutely. So John and I are available for,
Reach out to Sabina.
yes, we bring the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect because there's different ways of approaching things. So you get both, which is an amazing combination that brings balance, which is another key element, having the balance.
Thank you, Sabina. So great to catch up with you today.
Yes, always an honor and a pleasure to be with you, John.
See you later,
So much
lovely.
love. See you later. Bye.
Bye.